What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to Matchday Reloaded. Yes, you and I are back here live as can be in, what is it, Panenka Studios. Yes, we are back for another edition of Matchday Reloaded. Welcome back. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. What are we here to talk about today? Of course, we're here to talk about Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 3 in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, because, of course, we're not officially at Wembley just yet, but we're near enough there. What a performance. What a complete result for Manchester United. Near enough doing the job before the second leg even started. That's what we always say. We always say when we go into these kind of games that we just get it done in the first leg. Away from home, the City ground. Forest's home record's very, very good, but still, go and get the job done. Make it easy for ourselves. Second leg you can rotate. Second leg you can rest. And Ten Hag, decisive, vicious, and we get the job done already, seemingly, unless some kind of miraculous and catastrophic, miraculous comeback from Forest and catastrophic collapse from Manchester United. It would appear we certainly have 1 foot, don't we? That's what I'm trying to say, at Wembley for the Carabao Cup final. But plenty to get into this morning. We've got reactions from the likes of Flex and Marcel, not outside the City ground, inside, pitch side at the City ground. We've also got reaction from the likes of KG, Marcel, Mina, DJ and Haley. So a jam-packed show as always. We're going to get into some reaction from the manager himself, Ten Hag. We're going to get into some reactions, some quotes from Weghorst, of course, scored his first goal for Manchester United last night as well. Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, they were the goal scorers last night. It was an open goal from Marcus Rashford. Just the form of his life. I enjoyed this from what KG said in the match review last night. He said he's looking world-class-ish, and I like that terminology. I like that phrasing. So Rashford opens the scoring, running down the left-hand side like he keeps doing at the moment. I will say, not that I want to take anything away from Marcus here this morning, but I will say I thought it was terrible goalkeeping. I thought it was really poor goalkeeping from Wayne Hennessy for the goal, but I don't care. I don't care. Second goal, so shot, saved by Hennessy or parried out by Hennessy. Weghorst is there to tap it in. Why don't I say tap it in? There was still a bit to do for his first Manchester United goal. And I do want to really single out some individual performances. One from Weghorst as we get on today, because I thought Weghorst I was really impressed by him last night as well. Then Bruno Fernandes rounds it out in the second half, which we were a bit better. The first half, even though it was 2-0, at points, we were a little bit sloppy, of course. Forest had their goal ruled out for offside, justifiably so. And by the way, that is a perfect example of why, especially in this day and age of VAR, you've got to be careful. You've got to be very, very careful what celebrations you do and how hard you celebrate. Did you see them all? The nerve. They thought, we've scored against Manchester United in a semi-final. We're going to do the Ronaldo celebration in the mud. Offside. Wait. Just wait until you're certain. Wait until you're sure. And also as well, like the disrespect. Focus on scoring. Don't focus on what I'm going to do, that I get attention on social media, what I do, so I'm going to get attention that people are talking about me because I trolled Manchester United. How about you focus on scoring and winning the game and not your celebration? You have to score the goals to actually be able to celebrate after. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Nevertheless, it didn't matter anyway because it didn't count. And as I mentioned, Forest went down 3-0. And even in the first half, it was quite interesting actually, because at half-time, you saw the manager, Ten Hag. Not that he looked angry, but he didn't look overly pleased. And I think that's because at points in that first half, we still were a little bit sloppy, coasting at times. But still, we were dangerous on the counter-attack. We were dangerous just on the attack in general. We wouldn't play on counter because we dominate possession. But we were dangerous on the attack. I really like the link-up play between the front three, between Rashford, Weghorst and Antony. And we're going to talk about those players individually. But again, job done. Absolutely job done. I see what you guys are saying in the comments before I get into some of the reaction from the manager and the players. Steffi Jenks says, allow them. I felt bad for them. Don't feel bad for them. And Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die says, I'm rattled. Well, and Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die. I just think it's karma, instant karma. John Lennon settings, yeah? Instant karma's going to get you. I'm not going to sing the whole song, especially the chorus, because it's very difficult, and I'm not a Beatle. No chance. But instant karma settings, that's what it was. Super chat already from Aunor says, KG was reckless last night's stream. Boy Kev vid. Well, look, KG is KG. And I, for one, am glad to have him back after his This is the thing. This is why you've got to love KG, right? Is because first of all, he was, I mean, horrifically late. I was not I was not there, obviously, on the match view last night, but I can still see things behind the scenes. I'm still working, you know. I'm like the master puppeteer. I'm still pulling the strings behind the scenes. And I checked in about half an hour before they went live, and I saw that KG was not there, and I thought this might be a problem. But he was there, and he was there in full form. We've got lots of KG this morning as well. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Let's see what some of the members are saying as well. AWK Wrestle Clips, Royal Rumble this weekend. Come on, says Wembley. Here we come. Broderick, one of our members, says Antony was good. We're going to talk about Antony as well, because I think there was a lot of discussion about Antony I saw last night on social media. Some people saying he was rubbish, some people saying he was good. And KG the comedian, Mr. the comedian, excuse me, says locked in. KG's locked in this morning as well. Right, let's get into some reaction from the players last night. Starting off with Weghorst. Obviously got his first goal for Manchester United against Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. He said after the game, quote, a great night for us, great result. And of course, this is the first match. Victory is a really good chance to get to the final. It's always special and you want to score goals. You prefer to have this first one as quick as possible. So I was really happy. I think it was an important moment. Also, it gave us a good feeling at the break. We started well and had a great goal. We didn't have the control like we wanted and made it too much up and down after. We were lucky their goal was disallowed. Then to make it 2-0 before half-time was important. And you know what? I think he's spot on. I think he's spot on with that we did start really well. Rashford's goal was really early on in the game, and you thought after that United were going to settle. I do think, because I always say with these away games, I've said this quite a lot recently, that especially away from home against a Premier League side, Manchester United, one of the biggest games of the season is when United come to town. Just manage the atmosphere, manage the crowd. And I thought that initially we did that last night. When Rashford gets the early goal, the stadium went really quiet and the atmosphere just kind of dropped, and it felt like the wind had just gone out of the crowd. And you thought, perfect. You're managing the situation. You're managing the atmosphere. Now you can play your football. It's not going to be as intense as on top of you. And then we just kind of allowed them to get back into the game. And as Weghorst says, we were a bit fortunate for the offside goal. Yes, it was offside. I know and Blue Dabba Dabba Die is in the chat, but Lindelof's defending for that offside goal. But he gets away with it. He gets away with it because, look, he played him offside, but still. And then Weghorst is right. That goal just before halftime really does kill it off. And then the second half, I thought we were a lot more composed. And I think we did have greater control of the game. And it did feel like Forest knew that their chances were really slim after that. And then when Bruno gets the goal just before the end, it kind of kills off the tie. Now, Weghorst then continues to say, quotes, we were not happy with the way we played in the first half. We wanted more control. That's something we did in the second half. And with the 3-0 at the end, it made it even better. Now, Ten Hag has spoken about Marcus Rashford because the form that Marcus Rashford is on right now. I mean, Sky showed this stat after the game, and it's just sensational. Since the 2022 World Cup, there have been how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games Rashford has played in since the World Cup. He's only failed to score in one of them, which was Crystal Palace. Apart from that, he's getting goals in every single game, plus assists, not just goals and assists as well. It's incredible. Yeah? His form is nothing short of sensational. And Ten Hag said about his form, quote, in this mood and with this spirit, he is unstoppable. And that's what it felt like last night. When Rashford picked up the ball, again, in those first few minutes, he's just got this feeling about him. He's just got this, I don't know, this just power, this pace, and you just feel like if you're a opposition defender, or just even watching it, even at home, just watching it, and it'd be interesting to know what it was like in the ground. But when he picks up the ball on that left-hand side, and he was getting one-on-one with their defenders a couple of times, which I think is poor setup from Forest. They were playing a diamond, and it really didn't work. It really didn't help their fullbacks with being one-on-one with Antony and Rashford a lot. But every time Rashford picked up the ball, you just felt like when you're watching these real quality players, and you're like, they're going to do something with this. And he did every single time. They just looked terrified of him. And as Ten Hag said, he's just unstoppable. That goal, he just runs into the box, takes a shot. Keeper should do a lot better, but still, he's just got that confidence. He's just got that turnaround, and he's just sensational, absolutely sensational. And to the point that when he went down and he was taken off, which Ten Hag did say after the game was always the plan to take him off after sort of 50 minutes, particularly if you're 2-0 up. But when he went down, he was holding his ribs. You could just feel it. I mean, we saw it on the match feed, but you could feel it around the world. Every United fan took a collective gasp, went, oh, no, because we need him. Now, Ten Hag also was asked if Marcus Rashford is being an example of what he wants for Manchester United's forwards. And Ten Hag said, quote, be creative in the final third to do something in the final third. Some crazy stuff, fantasy and adventure. That seems like a strange review. Ten Hag reviews films. Some crazy stuff, fantasy and adventure. Sounds like the For Love and Thunder, but he missed off shit at the end because that film was terrible. When talking about the substitution, Ten Hag said, quotes, we already planned the Rashford sub. He did his game. He did his job. Lisandro Martinez, man of the match performance as well. He spoke to Sky and MUTV after the game. And speaking about Weghorst, he said, quote, as a striker, he lives for the goals, and I'm happy for him because he's training very well as well. We need that confidence, and I'm happy he scored today. Now we have to work for the next game. It's not done yet. He also said, quotes, I think we showed many good things, but still, we have a lot to improve. It's a good result. I think we controlled the game today. In training, we, referring to him and Lindelof, work with each other, and I think we're doing a really good job. That's the most important thing when you need a player. We have to be ready, and Victor did very well. I think everyone is training hard. You can see now the last 2 games were unlucky. We did an amazing job, but we have to keep going. And I'm glad he said that, Lisandro Martinez, because I have seen over the past 7 days, I said this yesterday, when I was talking to Flex, I have seen a lot of doom and gloom from some United fans going, oh, this is why, Ten Hag needs more players. Does Ten Hag need more players? In an ideal world, yes. But let's just take a step back, look at things in totality as opposed to isolating 1 or 2 games. Since the World Cup, as I mentioned, we're in fantastic form. Away from home, a draw to Palace with a 90-minute screamer free kick, that can happen. Should we have killed off the game before that? Yeah. Against Arsenal, you can go away to the top of the league, arguably the best team maybe in Europe right now in Arsenal, and you can lose that game. And it's not like we got rolled over. We played well. We held our own against a side that's 3 years into their development under that manager. 6 months, Erik Ten Hag. And 6 months with a side that was rock bottom on the floor. If we'd have gone to Arsenal and played that level of Arsenal team last season, we'd have lost 5 or 6-0. Last night, away from home against a difficult side, hostile atmosphere, could have easily let that game get away from us, or easily that could have turned into a 1-1, or we could have easily made it difficult for ourselves. The progression is there to see. And we have been unlucky the last couple of games. Slip-ups can and will happen. We will lose games this season. We will draw games this season. Are we in a title race? No, we're not. But at the same time, a lot of people said, wait till the end of January to see if we're in the title race. It's nearly the end of January, and we're not. But to be doom and gloom and like, this, that, and the other, no, we are still in a good position. I think we are. And I'm still seeing improvements. Ten Hag, when talking to Sky after the game, said, quote, I'm happy with the performance, and I think over 90 minutes we controlled it. There was one moment that could have changed the game, and that was where we need to improve, but overall we controlled it. They changed the system, and we didn't anticipate that. It can't happen. That is still a moment where we have to learn and improve as a team if you want to be on top. Those moments can't happen. We almost let them get back into the game. We can't allow an opponent to get back into the game when we started so good. We dictated it totally then in one moment. It can change. We need to avoid that. I think the second half we were much more composed and we tracked them. It was much better. Yeah, we have to play one game before the final. We have to do the same, prepare and make a good game plan. The players have to be focused. I love Erik Ten Hag because he's basically said why first half he wasn't happy. While he was on the sideline, despite being 2-0 up, he wasn't happy because, as I said, they were playing a diamond and they shifted, and he's frustrated that the team didn't react to that and didn't control the game. And they're the standards. They're the standards. And again, that's why we're improving. That's 100% why we're improving. It's because of that manager and the standards that he sets. And it's fantastic to see. It really is. Let's get some reaction from last night as well. Let's start off with Flex. Of course, as I mentioned, Flex was at the game. He was at the City Ground for Manchester United's 3-0 Carabao Cup, a semi-final first leg victory over Nottingham Forest. And after the game, he was pitch side. Here's what he had to say.
For this team, this is absolutely massive. It is. It's massive because it doesn't matter whether it's the Carabao Cup or not. It's the first trophy that's available to all the clubs. So you can only play what's in front of you. Have we had a fairly decent run at home? Yes, we have. Playing Aston Villa, playing Charlton, playing Burnley, and 2 legs for Nottingham Forest. But you still got to beat what's in front of you. But we did a professional job today. I thought Bruno, in the first half, actually, probably wasn't actually that good. Second half, gets his goal, good finish as well. Pellistri coming on, he was bright. Elanga gets, I think it's Elanga who gets the assist for Bruno, sets him the ball nicely to completely close out the tie. Because even at 2-0, you're thinking, okay, the tie should be done going back to Old Trafford. But at 3-0, that really gives us that breathing space. And do you know what? That's actually what it's about. And this is why I wanted us to go so strong here today. Come to the City Ground, which is not an easy place to come to, by the way. Come strong, play the strongest team, get the job done, and get back to Old Trafford in a week's time. And we should be in a comfortable position. And I think we handled the crowd here very well today. This is a difficult place to come, and we made Forest look quite ordinary. Their home form has been really good. I don't think they've lost here since maybe October, maybe a little bit after that. But their home form is good. I've seen them play against Chelsea here. They beat Liverpool here. They gave Tottenham a right good game here as well. They don't fold here very easily, and we made it a comfortable night for ourselves because we were at it. I thought Martinez, I thought he was absolutely brilliant, just sniffing out little bits of danger. Anytime there was a problem, he's alert. He's like, right, I need to get over there. I need to extinguish the fire. Malacia was in a couple of little problems, a little bit of a mess sometimes. Not a mess, but a few issues where you just need your teammate to come over and help you, and that's what Martinez does. I thought Lindelof was good today, very composed on the ball, very calm on the ball. He was very good. I liked him. And Wan-Bissaka again. He's just going from strength to strength. Someone in the way and said to me, they said, you know what, Flex? I think he should just be our starting right back. Maybe under Ten Hag, he's found himself. He's confident, and he can actually be our right back going forward. And we'll probably get to the summer and we'll work that one out with Wan-Bissaka. But right now, what you do know is that he's playing arguably the football of his life. Ten Hag's come in and he's made him comfortable. He's put his arm around him. He's got him playing again.
Shout out Flex there at the City Ground, pitch side at the City Ground as well. Such a great backdrop, isn't it? And there's something, it took my breath away. There's something about just an empty stadium after a match. You can still sort of feel the electricity, can't you? You can just sort of feel it. The feeling of just mere minutes before, there were thousands of people there cheering and getting excited, or in the case of Nottingham Forest fans, celebrating a goal that wasn't even legal. Doing this, tremendous. He did mention Lisandro Martinez, and obviously he got man of the match last night, and deservedly so. The guy's absolutely phenomenal. And I saw Sky Sports did a stat during the game when they were justifying the man of the match selection. I think it was Gary Neville who gave him man of the match, of course, Defenders Union there. But in clearances for the night, he had 4, ranked number 1. Possession 1, 9 times, ranked number 1. Successful passes, 90 successful passes, ranked number 1 in his team. Tackles won, 4, ranked number 1 in his team. Touches, 112, ranked number 1 on the pitch. Lisandro Martinez is a beast. And you know what, it's funny, and I don't want to be this whole, Man United fans and Man United players, we always get hardly treated and we always get hard done by. But to be honest with Lisandro Martinez, look at the stick he's had to deal with this season from pundits alike. And them very same pundits, I don't see them. And this is what's annoying about punditry. I don't see them now going, hold my hands up, I'm wrong. I just see this, throw it away. I just see them being quiet the whole time. Where's Graham Souness now saying, he's vertically challenged? Where's Jamie Carragher going, well, I just think, like a 6-foot centre-back, I'm not sure I can work in the Premier League. Man of the match performances, World Cup winner, absolutely brilliant. And just his tenacity, his viciousness, his aggressiveness. There was one tackle in the game, perfectly valid tackle, but he goes right through the player, gets a bit of the player, gets all of the ball, and you like it, you need it. It's particularly in those away games where, as I mentioned, when the atmosphere can be hostile, when the atmosphere can be, they can get on top of you. We're talking about a cup semi-final as well. Let's not forget about that. In a cup semi-final, away from home, first leg, you need characters, you need personalities, you need leaders. And he leads by example. He might not be the captain. Bruno Fernandes is wearing the armband. But Lisandro Martinez is a leader. By every sense of the word, he's a leader. And Victor Lindelof came in, but he's following Lisandro Martinez's example. Victor Lindelof might be the more tenured player there, but Lisandro Martinez is leading that defence. And he was justifiably, I think, man of the match last night. And it's such a difference. And it goes back to Erik Ten Hag. All roads lead back to Erik Ten Hag because this guy knows what he's doing. He knows a player. Him last night, Tyrell Malacia played really well last night. Again, aggressiveness, tenacity, composure on the ball too. You look at the midfield there, it's Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. They're Erik Ten Hag signings. They're Erik Ten Hag players. Even Antony on the right-hand side, I thought he did well last night. And again, we're going to get into them more in depth. But Lisandro Martinez is the real deal. And I wait for the day. When Jamie Carragher or Graham Souness comes out. And I say I wait. I'm going to be like that woman at the end of Titanic. It's been 86 years because they're not going to say it. they're not going to come out and say, "Oh, Lisandro Martinez, brilliant. I was wrong." Those terrible words, those terrible 3 words in football punditry, "I was wrong." They're not going to say. But he was brilliant last night, and he'll continue to be brilliant for Manchester United this season. And just the difference in the defence, I think it was Tabaslo said it when we were looking at that flex reaction there. Just the difference in the defence this season is incredible. And remember as well, we've been chopping and changing in defence, particularly those centre-back positions, because we've had injuries, because we've had suspensions, because of this, that and the other. Luke Shaw's been left centre-back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's came in, who I thought, again, did really well last night. Tyrell Malacia, as I mentioned, has been playing left-back. Lindelof comes in last night. But still, that defence is resolute. It's still strong. And again, I think Lisandro Martinez has been a part of that. I mean, he hasn't even been playing a ton of games since he came back from the World Cup because he had that World Cup hangover in more ways than one. So, deservedly man of the match last night. I thought he was tremendous, and he continues to be tremendous for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford there as well. I mean, what more needs to be said? We kind of touched on his stats earlier on when we were going through the quotes, but I think it's, again, since he's come back from the World Cup, nobody's got more goals than him. It's a crying shame, I think, that he didn't get more minutes at the World Cup. And that's a Gareth Southgate-ism, because Gareth Southgate still thinks it's 2018 with some of his team selections. But, I mean, and look, the thing is, look, there's a difference between having a purple patch. There's a difference between being in good form and then taking that and being consistent into next season. If Marcus Rashford can keep this up for the remainder of the season, he's already having, let's face it, probably the best individual season of his career with his performances, right? If he continues this for the remainder of the season, it'll be fantastic. If he brings it into next season, then you've really got to start having really serious conversations about his ability up there in Europe. And that's a long way off, and we'll wait and see. And there are still really, really, really big matches to play this season. The biggest and best players, it's not just doing it on a run of games like he's doing it, it's against the big teams. Can you deliver against the big teams? And to be fair, that's what Rashford's been doing recently. That's what makes it even more impressive. It's not just been Burnley at home. It's been Manchester City at home. It's been Arsenal away. And we as fans, I think, so often, criticise players for getting new contracts, getting new deals. Earn it. Earn the deal. Earn the contract. I think Marcus Rashford has absolutely earned this new deal. Whatever he gets, he's earned it. You can't say that he hasn't. And again, still wait to go to the end of the season. And maybe we will wait to the end of the season and see, can that form really translate into trophies? As of right now, it's almost translated into getting to the final of one. That's a lot of credit. And if we get into the top 4, a lot of it's because of Marcus Rashford's effort in front of goals as well. So, again, I think we have to, at the same time that we're so quick to criticise players, like we were last season, justifiably so for Marcus Rashford, we have to be really quick to praise players too, because he's been nothing short of spectacular, I think. But at the same time, as I mentioned, there still needs to be, I think, a little bit longer. Can he get it to the end of the season? But the record, 10 games since the World Cup, he's only failed to score in one of them, is nuts. Is really, really nuts. And he's been absolutely superb. And again, fantastic. And we still got players to come back. Jadon Sancho as well. How many likes are we on? Well, nearly 900 watching live. Just under 160 likes. You know us. You and I. I was going to say you and I, but I wasn't sure if the grammar was correct with that one. You know us, guys. On these individual streams, we can get the likes up. We can go to 200, 250, 300... 350, who knows, 500. 500 used to be the benchmark when there's 2 of us. If there's 1 of us, well, if we get to 500 on a solo one, who knows? Who knows what could happen? I don't know. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. Remember, you can join the UV members club as well. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat as well. Get your badges, your emojis, your exclusive members only content, your members priority chat as well. All of the emojis that are in there. There's too many to count at this point. There's flex, multiple KG. I mean, this is what's crazy with KG is, obviously, look, he's a stand-up and he's got lists of different characters, but he's got different characters in life. He's like the film Split. You know, there's KG with hair, there's Boy Kev, there's there's the roadman that tried to purchase Manchester United. If you know, you know. There's the Nigerian millionaire that tried to purchase Manchester United as well. If you know, you know. More coming soon, and they all need to go in the chat. They all they all need to go in the chat right now. Let's get some more reaction. Speaking of which, what a segue this is. Let's get some reaction from KG. He was in UVHQ last night. Here's his thoughts on Nottingham Forest's defeat to Manchester United 3-0.
Hold that, Henderson. Hold that, Lingard. Everybody hold that. Now I'm playing. Let me be more responsible. But no, true talk though. Hold that, fam. I'm glad, Man United, we're in no position to look down on trophies. We haven't won a trophy in a very long time. I can't even remember the action of lifting my hands, bro. I can't remember the action. I'll take any cup. Like Mina said, listen, Mina said she'll take this cup. That's getting too far for me. That's getting too far for me personally. That cup's not what I want. I want the Coca-Cola Cup. I want the Carabao Cup. I want the Capital One. Whatever they want to call it. They could rename this trophy tomorrow. I still want it. Yeah? Man United, the job is not done yet. On Kobe settings, the job is not complete. First leg, 3-0. This is safety. This feels good. It feels like you should be safe enough to maybe drop a lot of the first teamers, the main stars, and bring in the kids. I don't want to take them risks. That's how important I see this trophy for me. And, you know, again, it is only the Carabao Cup. But I say in these situations like this is, you know, you can't really say that. It's like if you've been hungry, let's say you've been in the desert, yeah? You know what I mean? Yeah, you've been in the desert walking for time. If you finally get water, you're not going to be like, is it Evian? Is it Highland Spring? No, bro. I just need to drink, fam. That's the settings that it is on now. Yes, it's not one of the greatest trophies to win, but it's a trophy that we need to win. We need water. Just see it as that. Again, there's so many things to praise about the performance. Other things to be like eyebrows raised. When you looked at the team today, you saw Lindelof was in. No, Maguire was like, but Maguire, I think Maguire's out on a suspension or something. But you're looking at the team and you're saying it's the same team again. Don't these guys need rest? These guys have played game after game, but then, you know, they did what they need to do. Lindelof, very shaky in the beginning. Lindelof had me worrying. I'm looking at Lindelof's performance saying, oh my goodness, like it's the spirit of Maguire, you know, when he stuck with the ball, just stuck between his legs, can't get out. And you
Did he say the spirit of Maguire with Lindelof? KG. I would not change that man for the world. I love that man. I love KG. What a guy, what a man, what a host, what an interviewer with his cup. I mean, I'm happy with this cup. It's Starbucks. You know, there's other coffee chains available. Unless they do want to sponsor us, then what a sponsorship that would be, by the way. United View Starbucks. He might be going a little bit too far, saying he'll take that cup. I would rather a cup that actually involves, you know, winning a football tournament, as opposed to one of the sort of knockoff bit of sort of cheap china we have at the studio. Nevertheless, KG's point is valid. We want a trophy. That's what we want. And as I said earlier on, that's what you have to take a step back and look at progression. And progression is slow when you really look at the minutiae of it. When you take a step back and look at, you know, broad strokes, this time last season we were rubbish. We were terrible. And we finished, what, 6th in the league? And now we're talking about being 1 foot in a final at Wembley. Now we're talking about looking upwards as opposed to looking downwards. Now we're talking about top 4 this season, style of play, possibly a trophy. There's a lot to be positive about. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. And, you know, we're not looking too far ahead. We haven't won it yet. We're not even in the final technically yet. And even if you were to say we would have played Newcastle, that's a really tough final. But getting in those positions, not having a semi-final where we completely crumble, is a massive positive. And I think there's a lot to be positive about. I do want to talk about Antony as well. Let's have an Antony conversation, guys. Because I saw such conflicting dialogue, shall we say, about Antony last night. There are those, and we'll get to this because I think Marcel touches on this in his fan view. But there are those the last night that were still saying, still want to see more. Antony wasn't good last night. Didn't like what I saw. It didn't take the player on. Didn't do this, that, and the other. Then you've got other people that say they thought Antony played quite well last night, and Antony did okay, and his link-up play was good. Should Antony have scored? Yes. Antony should have scored last night. I think he was a bit unfortunate. It was a good, really nice bit of play from Manchester United as well. Real good link-up play. And Antony was unfortunate. I thought he was all right. and it's always interesting to discuss what people see. It's always interesting to see people's perception of the game, because I've watched United games. First half where I'll go, I thought we played okay. Half time you'll get the reaction of we were terrible, and you go, wow, we were watching different games, it feels like. And that's what it feels like with Antony. He's becoming quite polarizing at the moment. Is there still improvement he can make? Absolutely. No doubt in my mind there's still improvement he can make. Was he better last night? Yes. I think it really does help that having a number 9 that was going to play every single game, but having a number 9 that his link-up play is good, back to goal, link-up play is good. Not to say that Marcel isn't, but Marcel doesn't play. I think Weghorst brought centre-backs and full-backs in, which gave Antony more space, and with a bit more space, he looked much more dangerous last night. Does his decision-making need to improve? Yes. Does he need to be more direct? Yes. There was one point in the game in the first half where he's going down the right-hand side, and Weghorst, he's flailing his arms around, saying, give me the ball, give me the ball. Even Rashford on the left-hand side was in so much space, because Serge Aurier, by the way, terrible. Literally, what a PlayStation defender he is. But he's waving his arms, and Antony didn't make the right decision. So decision-making still needs to improve. But I thought that some of the criticism on him last night was harsh. You'd have thought, looking at social media, this guy had an absolute stinker. He was terrible. I don't think that's the case. I think he was okay. Was it perfect? No. Decision making needs to be better. Could he have scored? Yes. Should he have scored? Possibly, particularly of Wayne Hennessy in goal. But I didn't see he was awful. I don't subscribe to that. I thought Facundo Pellistri came on. He was involved in the third goal. I thought he played well. I'd like to see Facundo play. I'd like to see him play at the weekend against Reading, because I think Ten Hag should rotate in that game. Home, Old Trafford, against a championship side. I think Facundo's perfect for that game. And again, I would really hope that he does start. But to say that Antony, I think, was poor last night, I don't buy that. I don't. I see what some of the chat says. Blue Dabba Dabba says, people comparing him to Rashi, and Rashi's in the form of his life. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a fair point. I think if you compare anyone to Marcus Rashford at the moment, they're going to look poor in comparison because Marcus Rashford's scoring or getting an assist in every single game. But Ed says here that price tag sadly forces extra scrutiny. We see it with every players that cost 80+ million. But EZ says Pellistri in on goal twice in 10 minutes. Ronick says Nani was quality, just following in the shadows of CR7, became underrated, comparing him to Nani. He does kind of remind me a bit, actually. I think that's an apt comparison, in that Nani was a player that sometimes did a bit too much with the skills. Sometimes his end product wasn't there and he was frustrating, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't a bad player. And if you had a prime Nani in today's United side, he'd play a lot of games because he was a good player. We just had fantastic, awesome squad depth at the time. Fat Thor here says, spinning chair. Apparently it's not getting up on the screen. It's a disgrace. There you go. Says spinning chair. He had a better game yesterday. All that was missing was the goal. Again, I think that was it. And V Cobra says Antony played well. I think Marcel dozed off during the game. Again, I didn't think the criticism. I thought the criticism was harsh of Antony yesterday. Speaking of Marcel, though, let's hear what he had to say. I think he does talk about Antony in this clip. Even if he doesn't, we'll just make up the words anyway.
Brilliant result. Wembley, bro. Brilliant result away from home. We were talking about fielding that strong first, just the strongest side possible for Ten Hag today.
Well, and we weren't doing it. I was.
Yeah.
You was like, oh no, maybe weaken the team.
I know.
See?
I know. You was right. And
hindsight's a lovely thing.
Yeah, and you was right. And at the end of the day, early goal from Rashi, brilliant start to the game.
Is this form it's just? I didn't see anything like it. The amount of goals he scored since the World Cup, no one in, I think, Europe's top 5 leagues has scored more than him.
I think it's 18 goals so far this season.
Unreal.
dynamic from the left side, cutting in, jinky run, finish on the left foot. It's brilliant
Do
start.
you think he's going to have his best season ever now? This, like, 18 goals already.
I mean, coming back off last season, for him to come and reach this level, Ten Hag's worked wonders, and I think he's continued to do fantastic things. So, brilliant for him. And then obviously the first half kind of just fizzled out a little bit, but then we built into it, got the second goal, and I think that gave us the confidence for the second half.
Weghorst with his first goal for Manchester United opens his account as well.
Yeah. Brilliant for him. Brilliant for him. Third game in, a little bit shaky for Crystal Palace, and what was the second game? Arsenal. Yeah. But this one was good.
Yeah. Was this the type of game that he needs? And is this what he needs? Just keep playing him, keep giving him a chance to get used to the team. And whilst a lot of the team needs a lot of rest, he's probably one who can kind of just keep playing, innit, really?
As much as he needs to. As much as he needs to. I mean, in the first half, Casemiro lost the ball, deliberated on the ball, lost it. Bruno lost it at times. Eriksen was dictating play very well at the beginning stages, but then lost it a few times. So difficult for him to kind of build into the game if the midfielders are not connecting him in. But he was holding it well, set off as per normal. Dynamic running, pressing, lost causes, but not a lot of shots from him. But to come in to have the opportunity off of Antony's shot, get the rebound, just those little tap-ins, you need that as a striker.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want, isn't it? And Antony actually having a shot, forcing a save from the keeper. I said sort of earlier on that there was still some murmurs from Antony where you're still saying, can he do a little bit more? Can he up it? Like, I mean, he curled one just wide, well, not just wide, kind of way wide. The goal that Weghorst scores comes from him taking the shot. But just in general, how did you rate his performance today?
And he's just not being aggressive on the football. 1v1, be aggressive on the football. Opportunity there just to shift on shoot on your right. But it's very predictable, extremely predictable, and he hasn't just mastered the technique yet. Just has to watch players maybe like Iron Robin and just master that coming inside, accurate on the shooting. In the warm-ups, it looks all right, but it's not nice pressure. Yeah, it's nice.
Marcel and those warm-ups say, he loves the warm-up. One of my favourite comments this morning is, why are they still at the ground? It's not live. If they were doing remotes from the City ground, the dedication to the cause would be unbelievable, Montana. But there you go. We've got over 1,000 people watching. Still under 250 likes. Let's get up to 500. A 1-to-2. Is that right? Ratio. Either way, we can get 500. Of course we can. Of course we can. And be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner as well. Hey, I do want to talk about Wout Weghorst as well. Because I was watching the game last night, and I think he deserves a lot more credit than people are giving him. People are painting him with that Burnley brush, and they're saying, look at United. Desperation, signing Wout Weghorst. He failed at Burnley last season. He's going to fail at Manchester United. Where was he? He was at Besiktas. Oh, look at you. And I thought Wout Weghorst last night played really well. I do, and I think that his hold-up play and his back-to-goal play was really, really strong. There was a couple of, particularly in the first half, there were a couple of really nice moves from Manchester United where you can see clearly, now that Wout Weghorst has been training with the club for at least, like a week, now that he's had a couple of games under his belt, of course, he made his debut against Palace, he played against Arsenal, but last night, you can see why Ten Hag likes to play with a target man number 9, an actual striker that can play with his back to goal, can receive the ball to feet, and can bring people in. And we're talking about Antony having a better game last night. We're talking about Rashford being in scintillating form. But I thought Weghorst was instrumental in that. I really did. He received the ball, centre-backs got pulled in, full-backs got drawn in. And suddenly, what do you know? Your wingers, your inverted wingers suddenly have this space to go into, this space that they can drive into, or these runs that they can make. And that Antony chance where he should have scored comes from Wout Weghorst. Really intricate one-touch passing play where Bruno can pass it into Weghorst. He can hold it up, he can lay it off, he can give it to whoever, and we should score because of it. And he won the ball back several times as well last night. You can see why his pressing stats were so good. Not in the sense like he's like a... Because I think when we think about pressing stats, we think of Roberto Firmino, don't we? That's what you think of a striker. Roberto Firmino just constantly pressurising the centre-backs, or pressurising whoever's in possession, going after him. And that's not really what Wout Weghorst does, but he's got this just knack, doesn't he, of being able to just sniff out when to possibly win the ball back. And it's not always, I noticed this last night too, it's not always on the edge of the box. It might be just over the halfway line. You know, when the opposition team's just pressing up the pitch and they're nearly halfway up the pitch, Weghorst will just sniff the ball out, win it back, and then he'll give it to someone and he'll try and get up the pitch. Is he a Manchester United level quality player? Probably not. And again, if we weren't in the financial situation that we are right now, which is we've got no money and we were desperate and we needed a number 9, he probably wouldn't be at the club. He'd still be at Besiktas. He'd still be tapping his chest and doing all that kind of stuff. But he's not. And he's trying to make the best out of what was a fantasy move for him, playing for Manchester United at 30 years of age. So I think he deserves credit last night. I think he deserved his goal. His goal is a proper striker's goal, reacting to the ball. As a striker, it's important to always follow any shot in because you never know what's going to happen. And I thought he did really well. And again, it goes to show what this team can be capable of if we do have a number 9 that has that ability to hold up the ball, play with his back to goal, that's available for every game. Antony Martial is still the better striker. Of course he is. He's got better quality than Wout Weghorst. But the best quality that Weghorst has that Martial doesn't at the moment, that he's available. Weghorst will be available Saturday. He'll be available Wednesday. He'll be available the weekend after that. He is available. And I thought he did really well. And I saw stuff last night from him where I said, you know what? I think he's going to grow into this game. I think he's going to grow into this game, grow into this team rather. And I think his performances are going to get better. His function, ironically enough, even though he scored last night, I don't think Weghorst's primary function is to score goals in this team. I think Weghorst's primary function is to win the ball back on the halfway line like he was doing, but more importantly, is to be able to receive the ball to feet, is to be able to get the ball, bring players in and allow his partners on that front three, allow them the space that they can run into, make it difficult for the opposition team, and that's what he did. And occasionally, balls over the top, occasionally crosses into the box, he's difficult to deal with as well. Again, is he world class? Of course he's not. Has he got any pace? Not really. No. But I think from now to the end of the season, I think he's the best of what we could probably get. And that's not a lot. Now, at the end of the season, absolutely, go for that striker, go for that Victor Osimhen, go for that Harry Kane, whoever. But I think this sort of slander of, oh, he's just a Dutch Peter Crouch, as if that's an insult, by the way. Peter Crouch, goal scorer in his career. Peter Crouch, not a bad player at all, especially in his prime. I mean, a lot of teams would have a prime Peter Crouch nowadays. I think he did a really good job last night. And I think he'll continue to do a really good job too. And he'll play games. His best ability is availability, and he's a Dutch international. Let's stop this. Oh, he's rubbish. He came from Burnley. As I said before, everywhere else he played, he scored goals and he's contributed at a decent level, not a United level, but a decent level. And as we've said before, if Erik Ten Hag believes in him, which clearly he does, then no problem. I'm all in on Erik. So I thought he did really well last night. And again, I think he deserves credit. And I think it's credit that, you know, we're so quick to judge players, aren't we? Against Crystal Palace. Well, he didn't do anything. Well, his first game, he didn't. He didn't have that long training. Palace away. Difficult game. Remember as well, United haven't played with a striker this season. So logically, it would take a couple of games to get used to playing with a striker, right? That's what it would take. United are going, wow, we've got a striker that's going to be playing every single week, every single game. A striker, then, not to say that Marcel can't play with his back to go and hold up the ball. I think he can, but you can then start to develop patterns of play. How can you develop a pattern of play when you have no idea if one of the key aspects, i.e. the striker, isn't going to be there on a match day? You can't build up patterns of play. You can't build up that chemistry, that synergy between your front three. With Weghorst there between now and the end of the season, you can do that. And I think we'll see more instances like we saw last night where you go, tell you what, that was a lovely bit of football. I remember Gary Neville on commentary said it for Antony's opportunity when that was a brilliant bit of football from United. And there are a couple of points as well where we were on the counter-attack. The ball gets fired into Weghorst's feet. He holds it up. He waits. He waits for Bruno to join him, or he waits for Rashford to join him, or he just gets it, holds it up to feet, fizzes it out to Antony, fizzes it out to Rashford, then they're off. And that's all he's there to do. And I think he did his job well. I really do. And again, I'm not on the Weghorst slander. I'm not. And also as well, I'll be a little bit reckless like KG this morning. If you said that Weghorst stayed permanently and we still got Victor Osimhen or Harry Kane, I'm more than happy for that to be our striking options next season. Antony Martial, Wout Weghorst, plus a top quality striker that's going to play every single week because, as we said, and as Erik Ten Hag has said multiple times this season, you need options. And Wout Weghorst is an option that we need right now. Absolutely. Let's get some more reaction, this time from inside UVHQ. It was KG talking to Mina. Here's what Queen Mean had to say.
Good aim. That's all I can say. Like, second half, I can't remember much except for the goal, but I think first half, we kind of controlled the tempo. They were kind of getting into it last 15, 20 minutes, and I feel like this happens often in games where, like, we allow the opposition, when we go up 1-0, we allow the opposition to kind of get opportunities, get in through the back. Lindelof, first start in a while, there was quite a few times where he looked a bit shaky, but he grew into the game, and I'm kind of happy with his performance. I'll say man of the match for me, Lisandro Martinez. Like, what
is about Lisandro Martinez that you love? What is he doing here that you think, you know what, that's why he's the man of the match?
He's a World Cup winner. Let me address him correctly. If I'm going to address him, let me address him correctly. World Cup winner, Lisandro Martinez. He controls that back line.
Yep.
He leads by example. He looks at the players next to him, whether it's Malacia, whether it's Lindelof, and he talks to them. We didn't have that a lot in the past. In the last couple seasons, with our two centre backs in the back, we didn't have anybody.
Painful.
We didn't have anyone leading and controlling. And you know, even when he plays with Varane is the one that leads by example.
Yeah.
Lisandro Martinez leads by example and by communication.
Vocally.
And that's what I like. Obviously, Nottingham Forest, to them it's a big game. To us, it's just another day in the office. And
Can you say that this is another day in the office?
It's not,
considering
I'm lying.
we haven't won silverware in a very long time.
I'm lying.
This is an important game, and you look at the way the team was set up. Is this a cup that Ten Hag clearly wants to win?
Yeah, I think he thinks it's his best chance at silverware. Obviously, Europa League up against Barcelona next month. FA Cup, we've got Reading. Then if we do get past them, it will only get more difficult in the FA Cup. We've seen countless times in the last 2-3 seasons where we drop out quarterfinals, semi-finals. So Carabao Cup, with all the big clubs out, he thinks this is his chance at silverware.
This is his best chance at trophy at the moment, certainly as well, Eric Ten Hag. I agree with what Mina is saying. As of right now, you could say that we'd aim for the FA Cup, you can say we're aiming for the Europa League, but as of right now, today, it's Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United's best chance of a trophy. And it's always funny, the Carabao Cup, isn't it? Because it is a trophy, as I've said before, that you only start to take seriously once you get to the semi-final. Once you get in touch and distance of Wembley, you go, oh. And once you see the final, when you watch the final on television or whatever, if your team's not in it, you go, oh, I wish we were involved there because it's a big day, Wembley, a final. And as I said, at the beginning of the season, gosh, what were we talking about for what we hope to see this year? We were just saying style of play. We were saying, I want to see a style of play from Manchester United. There's a real possibility now of getting in the top 4 and winning the trophy. Still a way to go for it, but that's still a realistic possibility. And again, I think that Eric Ten Hag, he laid his cards firmly on the table, didn't he? In that pre-match press conference when he was talking about it, he said, "I want to win trophies. United have to win trophies. 2017, last time we won a trophy for Manchester United. That's ridiculous. It's criminal." And he's right. It is. I remember him talking about when he came into Ajax, as he was leaving, they were doing those videos about what he wanted to achieve in his tenure as Ajax manager. And he said, I came in and I wanted to make Ajax Champions League proof, he said. Basically meaning that they were a sure thing, they were guaranteed for the Champions League every season. And it's the same for United. He wants to make them trophy proof, that every season, near enough, you're winning a trophy. We were talking the other day at the studio saying that, I remember with Sir Alex Ferguson, the lowest he finished in the Premier League was 3rd. And when we did, that was like catastrophic. That was like, what is going on at United? They finished 3rd. And near enough every season, they either won a trophy or in a final or very close to winning a trophy. And now, not even to really be in the conversation for so many years, has been really disappointing. And again, it's critical to build and foster that winning mentality. Just winning that trophy, that's the key thing. You know, that's the key thing. Getting that first trophy on the board, that's a key thing. And this is the best opportunity right now. And again, still a way to go. Still a couple of games to play. Still got the semi-final second leg, which you would think is near enough a done deal. But still, you never know. This is football at the end of the day. You have to still be... you still have to be a professional and you have to get the job done. And then even if we do get to Wembley, if it is Newcastle, which you think most likely would be, that is no easy game at all. That is a real tough game between two really good sides. And I'll be really interested to see what Eric Ten Hag would do for that. Let's get some more reaction from UVHQ, this time from DJ. DJ speaking to KG, and KG asking, I think, the most important questions, particularly after the weekend, particularly after a game that didn't involve the Premier League, and that is, are we in a title race?
KG, first of all, good to see you, my brother.
Come
It's
on,
been a
bro.
minute, it's
Come
been a
on.
minute, it's
Are we
been
still
a
in the
minute.
title race?
I won't comment on that right now. But today's game, comfortable. Walk in the park that it looked like. There was a few mistakes here and there, but for the most part, it was comfortable. Ten Hag, there was a little part of the game where he was really, really fuming with some of the players.
Yeah.
And that's because I think we was just strolling through the game. But overall, complete performance. A lot of players got
What's
to
your
run out.
thoughts on Ten Hag? I want to get into that. What
we
is
gotta
your
talk
thoughts
about
on Ten Hag right now?
Aye,
What
listen.
are you thinking? Is he the answer? Is he the man? Are you? Do you think we're in a safe pair of hands?
I think we are. I think he's come in, straight in the door, and he's literally put down a marker. And he's kind of gone back to the roots of what Manchester United is from the Sir Alex. And I know we talk about Sir Alex, but he really set the foundation for how management should be. And Ten Hag has come in, and not say he's followed the blueprint, he's put his own spin on it, but the foundations are there. No one is bigger than the club, and no one's bigger than the manager. Don't care who you are. Could be the best player in the world, you could be a reserve player, it doesn't matter. And I love the fact that he's done that. And I think in terms of him improving players, we haven't seen that a lot with this Manchester United team.
Who's he improved? Who's he improved?
No,
for
I'm
you?
going to say,
Go on. Go on. Who's he improved?
Sir Marcus Rashford. Sir Marcus Rashford. He's fed the kids, and now he's feeding the ball into the net. That's what we
man.
need. That's what we needed. And, I said it on the show. I just said, for Marcus Rashford, last season, dark time for him. Mental health was in question. There was a lot of things going on in the background. And Ten Hag's really revitalised him. And he's playing with such a confidence now that we didn't see last season. He's scoring a lot of goals. I think he scored in nearly every game since the World Cup. And that's going to continue. He's going to get more. And he's probably going to get the most goals he's scored in his career.
How many goals reckon he's going to score this season?
I'll say probably 23 goals.
23 goals.
he might
I
be
think,
around
but
23.
I think his record, what's his record? 22 or something? 22.
Yeah, I think he might.
He's got to do more.
Think he'll do 25? 25?
I'd go for more. You know me, I'm reckless still. I'll say 30 goals.
30 goals.
30 goals. He has to,
It's possible.
again, he has to.
And there's a lot of games.
There's a lot of games. We're in a lot of tournaments. So again, you expect him to get he's a goal a game at the moment.
Yeah.
He's involved. He's.
Right, there's so much to get into from that fan view. First of all, KG going 30 goals. 30 goals for Marcus Rashford. You know what? There is a clip. Go and find it when Flex and KG were on the pre-season tour with the players. The players walking off the pitch, they'd just done their press-ups. Eric Ten Hag had just put them through their paces, and KG was giving words of encouragement. He said, Rashford, bare goals, bare assists. And that's the coach coming out in KG. That's the real top quality coaching. Because Rashford hadn't thought of that before. He went, bare goals, bare assists. You're right. And what happened since? Reverse judge, yeah? Well, at the same time which Flex can give his judge, KG reverses it. That's why they're the perfect duo. They counterbalance each other. And it's the coaching on Marcus Rashford that KG has applied. Also, what I love from that one as well is, what did DJ say? He's been feeding the kids, and now he's feeding the ball into the back of the net. DJ, you poet, you wordsmith, you. Absolutely incredible. And he's right. He's right. Marcus Rashford is in tremendous form. I have seen some people this morning saying, Owen, don't use the world-class line. I was saying he was looking world-class-ish. He's looking world-class-ish. If he can continue this form between now and the end of the season, fantastic. If he can continue into next season, that's when you talk about top-tier consistency. That's what the best do. They not only deliver just throughout the season, they deliver in the big matches, and they deliver season after season after season after season. And those still are the next steps for Marcus Rashford. But under this manager, under Eric Ten Hag, anything's possible, certainly as well. Mike says, wow, it's not down to Eric Ten Hag, but it's been KG all along. It's always KG all along. This is what people don't understand. KG is the master puppeteer. That's what he is, I think he did say that to Sancho as well. Different effect. But let's blame it on Flex because he was there in the vicinity. There's only so much KG can do with his positivity. There's only so much KG can do. His powers are strong, but they're not at the level of Flex. That's the difference. You've got Flex level here, and then you've got KG level here. KG's on an individual basis. But, let's not even talk about the judge. I mean, it made me nervous last night in general to see Flex go, we'll go to Wembley. I went, Flex, don't shoot. Don't even go there. Don't even go. Everyone else can say it, Flex. You can't. Not yet. Let's get some more reaction as well. I really enjoyed this. This was KG talking to Haley after the game. Take a look at this and just the apparel The attire that was worn, it's scarf season, folks.
Forest, reckless and wild. That's what I'm calling us right now. How you feeling right now? How you feeling?
Festival.
Oh, snap, oh, snap, oh, snap, oh, snap, oh,
We're
snap.
going to Wembley.
Wembley! Wait, no, this is too soon. This is too soon.
not. It's never
This
too
is too
soon. It's never too
soon.
soon.
No, but we ain't got there yet.
We're there.
Are you sure? Cause
very sure.
Are you sure this
I'm
is a
sure
big
like
celebration? No, you
I'm
sure like Luke?
I'm sure like Luke.
Oh, you guess you're a bad influence. What you say? No, but we got another leg. We got another leg.
You think Forest is going to come to Old Trafford and do the mad thing when they couldn't even do it at their ground to us?
I'm not saying that. No, I believe. Yeah, but I know how the know the internet, and they've the footage of me. You know.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Do it with your chest.
You know, I love your energy. I love this energy. Again today, what did you like about today's game? What was good?
We got the goals.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. We got the 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Clean sheet.
Yeah.
Wembley.
Again, you say Wembley again. I feel like flex.
No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
When last did we get there?
When was the last time you been to Wembley?
So I'm allowed to get excited.
You're allowed to be giddy. You're allowed to be giddy.
2017.
I'm holding you back.
6 years ago.
I'm holding you
Don't
back.
hold me back.
I'm holding you back. I'm sorry.
Don't hold me
I
back.
apologize for being because
Don't do it.
I've become fleck. It's the
before
mic.
them other episodes I was on the show.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'll never do that
That's
to
not
you.
you.
I'll never do. Do you know what it is? I got the mic and I immediately became fleck because I started celebrating. I was like, wait, but there's another game and this is what he'll cuss me for. And so now I became the inner flex. But honestly though,
Like a bird.
yeah, I gotta be free. And you're right.
Like a bird.
I wanna fly away. Come on, man. All right, wicked. So now we're here, yeah? We're talking about Man United. I wanna ask you certain questions on certain players. I gave you Antony to watch. You was on Antony watch today. What did you think of his game?
Do you know what? I feel a bit worried for him.
Really?
Because Sancho is coming.
I mean, I literally... I was watching that there, thinking about it, just going, I'm not sure where the analysis has started. I don't think it did during that. I mean, it came into, there's a scarf, Wembley, and then it came in, I'm like a bird. I love Haley so much. Oh, that's fun, isn't it? And that's what football should be. It's fun. I mean, KG's right. I mean, the variety and the roller coaster of emotions he went through during that fan view as well, of going, Wembley, we're not there yet. That is brilliant. Absolutely superb. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, guys. We've still got over 1,000 people watching. We're 170 likes away from 500 likes. So if you haven't already, click that like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner as well. Of course, we've got Reading. We've got games thick and fast. They never stop. We've got a game every 3 or 4 days now until I think like towards the end of February. It's nuts. We've got these like weird back-to-back games as well. We just played Crystal Palace away. We play them at home next in the Premier League. There's I wish I had the fixture list in front of me, but we have a situation where we play Leeds. I think it's at home, and then 3 days later we play them away. We're playing them back-to-back in the Premier League. It's almost like another, two-legged affair, but it's in the Premier League. It's ridiculous. So there's plenty of UV content on the horizon. As I mentioned, we'll be covering it all as we get closer and closer to the game against Reading at Old Trafford. FA Cup 4th round, possibly another trophy, right? Possibly another trophy for Eric Ten Hag to consider. A little bit still further to go. Still big teams in the FA Cup, so let's not get too carried away with ourselves. In the same vein, we can't get too carried away with ourselves when it comes to the Carabao Cup. Still a job to be done, but 1 foot into the final, seemingly 1 foot into Wembley, but still plenty of work to go until we have to look at winning a trophy this season. But as I mentioned, guys, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right hand corner. Remember, you can join the UV Members Club. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. You get your badges, your emojis, your exclusive members only content, your members priority chat. I'm out of here. Have a good Thursday, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.